Well, hello and welcome back to Master Horn Investing. This is Brian Horn. Thanks for joining me today. We're going to be talking more about energy. We're going to be going over energy stocks and why they might be important right now. So here's a little information on me as my background. So what do you want to talk about today? We want to talk about Congress. Congress has outperformed the stock markets, and they tend to be able to pick some of the top stocks, some of the top sectors. I fancy that. So according to a 2004 Georgia State University study, the U.S. senators and Congress people, on average, outperform the stock market by like 12.5%. Okay, now if you look at that, the average insider outperforms the market by like 7%. Okay, so these guys are like not quite doubling the better outperformance of the insiders, but they're ahead of the insiders. So obviously Congress is like the insider of the insiders. The average person like you and me, we're like underperformed by about 1.5%. So by following Congress, we might be able to get a better idea of where things are going. So let's look a little bit in the past year. So in 2022, markets had one of their worst years since 2008. So the data released shows that by Unusual Wells, that's a website, Unusual Wells, it shows what these representatives are doing. So for example, Representative Fallon of Texas, 56.1% return on his investment. Over here we have Debbie Wasserman Schultz gained almost 51% herself. Well, that's at the time where the Dow was down 10%, the S&P was down 19%, and the NASDAQ was down like 33%. Okay, well now everything is public because of laws about what Congress has to do. They can't just be sneaking around and doing things behind the scenes. We can actually see their trades. Well, so let's look at what the Stock Act of 2012 did. It makes the active stock trades of Congress public. This means that everyday individuals like you and me can now have this legal opportunity to piggyback on what they do, kind of follow the insiders and kind of follow their investments. So if you kind of remember old Nancy Pelosi, her and her husband kind of been billed as some of the greatest investors, speculating, making millions of dollars on Apple and Tesla and so forth. Well, we can now see what they're doing. We can profit from that. Although, maybe can't follow Nancy, but people like that. So the energy bull cycle is not over yet. Yes, we've had we've had natural gas come down. Yes, we've had some bounce around in the oil prices. People speculating that oil is going to drop, demand's going to drop. Well, it doesn't appear that Congress believes so. So these are a couple of reasons that are issues going on. So first of all, energy demand's going up. People are traveling more. They're trying to bring production back home. China's opening back up. We had the sabotage of the Nord Stream pipeline, and so that's kind of cut down some supplies coming from Russia and so forth. Then the Biden administration, of course, has been issuing a lot fewer permits than they have than since back in like Nixon's time. So like many years, decades. And oil and gas stocks are all over the place, but Congress seems to know something that we don't know, or maybe something that some of us don't know. So what is Congress looking at? Here's Congress's top picks for the last, just like this year. Exxon Mobil, the #1 stock being bought by the insiders in Congress. EOG Resources, one of the biggest oil and natural gas companies in the U.S. CF Industries Holding, #3, symbol CF, leading nitrogen fertilizer company. Kind of interesting. ConocoPhillips, COP, one of the largest independent exploration and production companies in the world, and they have Marathon Oil coming in at #5, which is also an oil and gas company. These companies are investing in natural gas and oil, and they profit when those do well. Chances are good from the insiders of Congress. We're looking still at a bull market in the energy sector, primarily in natural gas and oil. Now, we've been talking a little bit about this for a while. Remember kind of Jim Cramer? I don't watch Jim Cramer. I mean, he's on CNBC and stuff. But, basically, and everybody's always said this, there's a bull market always somewhere. It could be gold. It could be silver. It could be energy. It could be, a gazillion things, because there's all these different markets out there. Bitcoin, right? There's always something that can be going up. Bitcoin's not going to go up. Don't be buying that. That's going to go down below 10. It's been kind of hovering around here between the 16 and 23 range, 16,023. Don't buy Bitcoin yet. It's still going lower. I sold mine at 40. I'm not buying it back. And I kind of recommended back when it was around 40, everybody get out because it was going to go at least to 20. And now I'm telling you it's going to go at least to 10. But that's a side job. Okay, so basically we got Congress investing in these oil companies. And as Jim Cramer says, there's always a bull market somewhere. And right now the bulls are piling into energy. So this bodes well for the other stocks we've been talking about here recently. Phillips 66, killer buy or killer company. That one looks to be going up, probably sitting down around 100. Try to buy it below 100 if you can, because it keeps dipping below 100, then runs up to 106, 107, dips back down, runs up to 104, 105. We're going to have a run at some point over the next couple of years. This thing's going to probably be trading above 150, 160 on top of the dividend it pays. I got a whole presentation, I guess, on my website. So if you find me, click on my little name on the little links, and it'll take you to my Master Horn Investing page. You can see my videos. Scroll over and you can find ConocoPhillips. You can find some on Tenaris. You can find some on natural gas. You can watch those and get more information. But that still bodes well for our natural gas stocks like Ultra Shares, or the ProShares Ultra Natural Gas, BOIL, B-O-I-L. Also Tenaris, TS, although I think Tenaris is going to come down before it goes back up. So as I mentioned before, it looked like it was kind of like hitting a resistance up there around 35. So you might be better looking to try and buy a little bit. And if you're going to buy some more, see if you can buy average down and buy some below 30. And if it hit 25, that'd be a killer buy. I don't know if it'll go that low. But Tenaris looks like a good one to start kind of getting into. And then also those other 5 that were just mentioned. You can go back and look at those. So basically, natural gas is still below break even. And so it still bodes well for natural gas and energy, as a couple of two of those top picks that Congress are buying are involved in natural gas as well. Remember that natural gas chart we saw before? Yeah, things kind of trending way down and starting to pick back up over here. Yes, we might see some bouncing around up in this range, but eventually we should have a run in natural gas. Oh, sorry, you can't see the right side of it. I'm in the way. But this is that ProShares, how it came back down. It's kind of flipping down around here at the bottom. Anything below 6 looks like a pretty good buy. And then also another natural gas stock that's not as volatile as BOIL would be UNG, an exchange traded fund. Also trading very low, has an opportunity to grow. We talked about that before. Remember rational position sizing. So since there's a number of things you can invest in, don't throw all your money into one thing. Don't put it all in one stock. Maybe you can be heavy in one sector. You don't want to be all in one stock, because if something happens to that one stock, you're going to panic. It drops. You're like, I'm getting out. You get out, only to have it turn and go up on you, and then you miss the run, and you get selling at a loss. Or it starts going up, and you have a lot of money in there, and then you panic because like, oh my goodness, I made 5%, I made 10%. When should I get out? 20%, and then you panic and sell it, and then it goes on a run and doubles or something. So you don't want to put too much in any one area. So remember rational position sizing. So when you're buying some of these stocks, let's say you have a portfolio of $10,000, maybe you don't want to put any more than, say, $500 in any one company. So you can do 500 in Exxon Mobil and those other stocks we're talking about, Phillips 66 and BOIL, and you don't have to buy it all at once. You could buy some, watch it. If it goes down, buy a little bit more. If it took another dip, like if BOIL goes down, BOIL goes down below 5, again, well, cash in a little bit more and kind of average in, and then just hold it. And then you can wait for moves in the market. Gold and silver also look like, I think we're in a commodity cycle. So it's not going to be just energy. Oil and gas are also looking, not oil and gas, silver and gold are also looking good long term. We've kind of sold off here recently with a kind of a panic in the rising interest rates. But rising inflation is going to be good for those. Countries around the world buying gold and silver and taking possession of it. Banks, central banks, there's a lot of buying in gold and silver. That might be a clue. Again, the big money people are buying gold and silver, the countries and so forth. Anyway, Brent crude, again, it's been holding its own kind of over here. Doesn't seem to be like selling off like a lot of people are expecting. Congress is betting it's going to go higher. So thanks for joining me. Remember, if you can hit that subscribe button, it helps me out, because I have to get up to 1,000 subscribers, or I kind of don't get the algorithms to have my stuff show up. So YouTube kind of like wants me to get to 1,000. So if you can help me out and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and then anytime I do a new video, you'll get notice of that. That's all the subscription does for you. And you have a great day. Happy investing.